today we decided that we would dress for the occasion.
I always dress like this.
No, you don't.
Actually, I don't know when
White
I wore this. I'm even checking my pockets. I might find something. Oh, that's where I was always looking for that.
We are reviewing Kingsman.
You should get out of the way, Granddaddy. You'll get hurt.
Then let me teach you a lesson.
The Guy Ritchie flair. Samuel L. Flippin' Jackson was so good.
We're here to test you to the limit.
I also read somewhere that Samuel L. Jackson had a lisp originally.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you have any form of speech impediment, you got this. What is up?
Hey, how you doing?
This is the movie show.
On Active FM.
I am Sash.
My name's Ryan.
And today we decided that we would dress for the occasion.
I always dress like this.
No, you don't. And I just threw on a blazer on top of my jeans and my
I actually don't know when
white
I wore
t-shirt.
this. I'm even checking my pockets. I might find something.
Like a mint or something.
That's where I was always looking for that.
Wow.
I think it's expired. Oh, that's not a mint.
Okay, anyway, moving right along. So we thought we would dress for the occasion because we are reviewing Kingsman.
Yeah.
So we decided if you are a faithful follower of the movie show, this has become a thing now, a faithful follower of the movie show. You would have watched our Argyle review, and Argyle is a film that came out this year, but it links with the Kingsman cinematic universe, and we still said we might go and do a, Kingsman marathon.
And we did.
Oh, we did.
And
there we
this
go.
is it. And you're watching it.
So, yes, I would like to start off by saying I enjoyed this much more than Jason Bourne.
Very nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this one, I'm enjoying it.
But the thing is that this film is like a different genre.
Yeah, So it's still the whole spy thing.
Because it's really good, but it's got a very odd sense of humor.
It's very cinematic as well. Like Jason Bourne, I think, was more realistic.
Exactly.
If there was a spy,
real fighting.
Yeah, this is what would
shooting.
actually go down. Whereas this one's got that cinematic flair, comedic element.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So the first film in the Kingsman series came out in 2014. It's called Kingsman: The Secret Service, and it's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who's the same director as Argyle, and we mentioned all of his other previous films. He's worked a lot with Guy Ritchie, and that flair, the Guy Ritchie flair, comes through in I just thought of something so weird.
It's got a mix between also with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, actually. I was like, do you know you get flared
edge.
pants? It's Matthew Vaughn and Guy Ritchie.
There you go.
That was, yeah. Anyway, back to the movie. So the cast of this film, Colin Firth. Love Colin Firth. Colin Firth is a solid dude.
He's such a good actor.
He is so good.
If you watch him in this film, and then I went and I looked at scenes of him in The King's Speech.
Oh, I love that movie.
I knew
as
it was
well.
the same guy.
But it's not the same guy. Yes.
I promise you, halfway through the film, I was like, nope, it's not the same
Not
guy.
the same guy.
I think I'm thinking of someone else. Then I went back, I'm like, oh my word, this
It's
guy's
the same guy.
This guy's good.
I think we should start a Colin Firth marathon
This
after
guy
this. I'm
is
not even joking.
so good.
He really is so good. And he often plays very dignified roles. But he has also played like I remember there was one called The President's Daughter. And he was the president. Was it the president's daughter? I think it was the president's daughter. Although, no, they were British. No, it wasn't the president's daughter. It was something where he was high up. I can't remember. But basically what happened was he met a girl and she was all hippie. They fell in love, had a baby. And then he had to leave because he had responsibility and, duties. And then, but he played his younger self. He's got long hair. And so they brought in, it was funny to see.
Wow.
But he normally plays very dignified. But in the King's Speech, he was insane. He was so good in the King's Speech.
It was just his low tone and his proper.
The way he spoke, he really resembled how King George. I think his name. Yes, I think it was King George. How he spoke.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it was really.
What was so entertaining for me is to see him and holding that whole what do you call it, like that the way that he kept himself.
Yes.
But then he had to fight and
And the way that
like really had to kick butt. You know what I'm saying?
that the costume
In one.
designer
Wow.
of this film did the most. His tailored
Yeah.
suit was the most tailored suit I have ever seen in my life. It was like perfectly.
Well, it's the British, you know.
No, but Ryan, we've seen lots of tailored suits. That suit on Colin Firth, I was just like, this is how every man should look in a suit. I'm sorry to every man out there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you have something to aspire to, you know.
There you go.
No, it was very, very, very good. Then we have Taron Egerton. I should have searched his pronunciation before. Anyway.
Just call him Taron.
Yeah, there we go. So he's in a lot of Matthew Vaughn's films. Also, I thoroughly I think he's a solid actor.
He's also a very good actor.
He's very, very good.
Because I watched him in his interviews, and the word choice that he used, you can tell he's more the upper class Britain.
But he played a very...
But then in this film, he
Bruv.
was that very like
Bruv.
street, oi! You know, it was
Yeah, no, he was very, very good.
very entertaining.
And then, oh my living soul,
What living soul?
Samuel
Oh, yeah.
L. Flippin' Jackson.
Yeah.
His lisp was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is a very good actor. I really enjoy his acting.
I watched an interview with him, and apparently the lisp was his choice.
Yes.
He said that
Yes.
it would really add on to more character, the fact that, I mean, he's got this lisp, and a lot of people kind of look down on kids like that. So
Yeah.
it really adds
It actually
in
makes it...
the whole character.
It makes it more of a scary...
Yeah.
Like more of a scary
more
villain.
kind of creepy.
Yeah, like more creepy. And apparently, I also read somewhere that Samuel L. Jackson had a lisp originally.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
He did.
And then he had to basically overcome the lisp. And I mean, the fact that, none of us would have said Samuel L. Jackson has a lisp. But I mean, he had a lisp and he had to actually overcome that. So if you have any form of speech impediment, Colin Firth and Samuel L. Jackson are proof people. You got this. I say you got this. But he was very good. He was very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was funny was, so in Argyle, he was also in Argyle. Same cinematic universe, but he didn't actually play the same character. He in Argyle, he was actually one of the good guys, and then in this one, he is the villain. Like the villain that can't stand blood. That was very funny. That was a very funny addition to a character. Yeah. No, that was very, very cool. And then I recognize this. So Sophia Boutella, I recognize her because she was in Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon is terrible, people. Don't go watch that movie. That movie sucked, by the way. Hence why we have not done a review on it, because I watched it. I don't think you've watched it, but I didn't feel the need to go, Ryan, watch Rebel Moon. Let's do it was really sad.
Why was it terrible?
It was not good. It was just... The CG was bad. Like the CG was bad. Okay. And the storyline was like... And then I like Charlie Hunnam, and they made him the villain. And I was not okay with that. And then they killed him, and I was not okay with that. It's just personal preference here, people.
So if you don't like Charlie Hunnam...
So be careful, filmmakers, when you cast someone that people like and make them the villain and kill them.
Then go watch that film.
It's not a good...
But you said the CG was bad.
CG was bad.
Yeah,
and it was just weird. It was just a weird movie. Like, and I've heard like other people's comments on the film as well. Like everyone was just like, nah, man, this film was whack. Like, yeah. So, but anyway, I knew her from that film. So she's the protagonist in that film. In here, she her character was pretty good. She's
kind of the creepy sidekick.
Yeah, that like chops everyone up.
Yeah.
But her stunts were insane. Like, she really, really, really did well with her stunts.
There's some behind the scenes footage of her, and you see how she's working with a real... Would it be like a choreographer, right?
Yeah,
But fights. So in other words, they really have to throw kicks, really have to throw punches. Like they got the whole, punch bags and stuff. Like the fact that they get taught to do that, I would not mess with any actor if they've been in a fight movie.
And especially if they did their own stunts.
So if you're about to shout at an actor, go and Google quickly. Have they been in a fight movie?
Filmography. Check out. Flipped in mind.
Because
you might just regret that decision.
Yeah. I mean, I saw her kicking. Like the guy was holding, what do you call them? Those bags that you know.
Yeah.
Those block pads, whatever. And she was kicking for real, like, quah. And he's like, all right, go again, quah. Like,
it's actually insane. The physical. What's the word? The physical. Oh my goodness, I don't have a word for it.
Physicalness.
The physical requirement, that's not the word I want, but the physical expectation, that's not the word either, but it makes sense, upon an actor, especially in these type of films, is crazy. So Colin Firth did 80% of his own stunts, and I read somewhere that apparently he did something like he would run for 3 hours daily.
That sounds nice.
Ryan, 3 hours.
That sounds good.
Hours. 3 running.
That's at least, I don't know, 15 Ks or something like that. 15, 20 Ks maybe.
It's crazy. Every day to get into, and I know that Taron also, he also bulked up, because he said like it didn't make sense for, you know, you to be in the spy film, but you're all like, that's the other thing I have an issue with about Argyle, going back to Argyle. And I don't mean this in any way bad. It just, I think it didn't help the realism of the film. Was Bryce's figure didn't match the character that she was playing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you're a secret agent, you are extremely fit. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you're at that level where like you're the best of the best of the best, like the physiques in this film matched the characters, whereas I felt like her physique didn't match the character. And I by no means am I like judging here, but I am saying like it helps the realism of the character when
they look like they can do.
And that's what I respect about a lot of these actors in this film, is they took that element of the character, they really took it seriously. Like you see Colin Firth, you see Taron, you even see Sophia, it's believable. Like you look at them and you go, yep, they really could be a flying, kicking, slicing machine, because that's what she looked like. Yeah, so this I found very interesting. So the first scene that they filmed, right? What do you think the first scene was that they filmed, Ryan?
Sure. The first scene that
there were
they
a lot
of
of people
filmed,
involved.
There were a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
Was it okay? It's either the church scene.
No, that church scene was weird.
Yeah,
man.
it was hectic.
I didn't like how they portrayed the church there. I must be quite honest.
Yeah. And then maybe it's that scene where with all the I don't know, were they like the government officials or all the people that they invited to the secret island?
No, okay, not that many people. It was the scene where they basically they drowned them in their sleeping quarters.
Oh.
But now get this, right? So in the film and trailer, when the new Kingsman recruits have their first night's sleep interrupted by water pouring into the dorm on set, the scene went horrifyingly wrong. As writer, producer, and director Matthew Vaughn recalls, I shouted action. The computer got it wrong and whoosh, literally VRRRRSSHHH whoosh. Everyone was 20 feet down underwater. Cameras, sound guys, everyone. People were so it was like full of water. There was panic. Everyone diving in and pulling people out. The set painstakingly planned and rehearsed using height markers and computer programmed water tanks. And basically they were all washed away when the computers went rogue. The actors weren't acting. They were absolutely terrified, shudders Vaughn. It was awful for the first day of filming. How crazy is that? It's dangerous.
That's hectic.
It's dangerous out here. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah. And then, Colin Firth worked out for 6 months to be in fighting shape and physical form. Yeah.
So imagine, for 6 months, you prepping for a movie.
That's great. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. The fight scenes were very good. What I didn't like about the film, the swearing, is like, it's like that's where the Quentin Tarantino comes in, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the swearing is quite bad.
And a lot of the blood and the way people would just lose limbs like that easy, you know? Like a hand just goes, and then you see it in slow-mo falling off. And then you see a head, and you see the way something went through someone's head, and it was as if people weren't people.
Yeah.
They were just things.
I think
just dying.
I think he also adds to the whole like over-dramatized, not as bad as Quentin Tarantino. If it was Quentin Tarantino, it would have been worse. But yeah. And then also, that church scene, I just felt like, you know when they portray Christians as like these crazy people that like
haters,
and also like these people that are brainwashed. They really gave that like because like I've been in church my whole life and I've never been in a church experience like that. So like how can you so that I felt like there's certain messages that they do push in the film, but it was and then obviously the end scene was unnecessary. There's a bit of nudity at the end, which was once again was like
I was like, okay, the movie's finished.
It's like these small details that actually just like ruin the film. So that's what I didn't like.
I don't know if that's
the
the director's creative.
I think it is. I think it is
creative. Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we and then we're like, no.
We're like, no, it really wouldn't be cool. You really didn't have to. Mark Strong, who plays Merlin, I enjoyed him because he wasn't a villain. He was the villain in the first Shazam movie. Do you remember?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And I enjoyed him in this one because he wasn't the villain. I actually really enjoyed his character.
And he was very British.
Yes. Wasn't he Scottish?
Which he is. Oh yes.
He was Scottish, right?
You're right. You're right. He is.
And do you know that in World War I and World War II, apparently the British government did use tailor shops as like fronts for like intelligence agencies. So like this concept isn't actually that far off. But they were actually used as. But I really enjoyed that this film was extremely unique and original from the perspective of like it was a tailor shop. Even the type of weapons that they used, like they brought in like
I liked
the umbrella.
I liked the very what is the word sporadicness. I don't know the very you like you think something's happening and the next minute you're like no it's not happening and then it's like something else. It's like very. Unpredictable. It's a very unpredictable
film.
You're not sure where we're going with this. You know that there's a bad guy and there are good guys, but then you don't expect the good guy to be doing that, and then okay, no, now this is happening. So it's pretty.
How did you feel about them shooting the dog?
My wife was sleeping. I'm glad that she fell asleep at that point.
Do you know that originally Matthew wanted them to actually kill the dog, so it wasn't supposed to be a blank. But then I think how people responded,
it would have upset a lot of viewers.
I was at that point. I was just like, "Are you serious? Like, what the heck?" Yeah. So that part of the film was just like.
There's a word in Afrikaans. It's omgekrap, which means I'm bugged. Like when that happened, I was like bugged. There was just something. Sorry, I was just like. And then obviously when they said it was a blank, I was like...
It was good though how he first shows the dog that's been stuffed. And then you're like, he shot his dog. And then afterwards he was like, it was a blank. The dog died of what? What did the dog die from? Some but when it was
disease,
older,
something,
then he stuffed the dog.
At least though, on the good side, it gives Eggsy a more good side to his character.
Yes.
So you were kind of like, this is a good bloke.
Yeah, this is a bruv. Good bruv.
Good bruv.
Eggsy also is a very odd name.
It is.
But my favorite line from this film is manners.
Oh yeah.
Maketh.
Yeah.
Mad. That was so cool. And that whole fight scene was just it was brilliant. The way it was choreographed, the way it was so good. The fighting in this film it's one of the, I would honestly say, best choreographed and filmed fight scenes like that I've ever seen. It really, the fight scenes were good.
It sits literally on the line of possible and unrealistic, but very entertaining.
Yes.
And the camera movement, like
the way that
I've never seen. You must sit there like, wait, is this real? Is this CG? Like what is going on? Yeah, but yeah.
And I mean, the fight scene in the church, I actually have seen that before. I just didn't know it was from Kingsman. Yeah. I saw it in, when they compile one-shotters in film.
Yeah.
And because that whole fight sequence was a one-shotter, and it's a long. I think it was when we did the longest one-shot. In other words, the camera, there's no cuts. It's one, like 1917, the movie, the whole movie shot basically. From one camera. It's not, but so that I remember I've watched that fight sequence before obviously I didn't know the movie, but like the camera, the way it's like they didn't just, you know how sometimes this is what people do, it's like we choreograph the fight scene and then you just have the cameras and then like the cameras just capture the fight scene that's been choreographed.
And important parts between.
Yeah. With this one, I feel like the fight scene was choreographed with the camera.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't just the two people fighting, it was the camera was taken into account, which really like just
where it was pointed at and then where it would point next.
Oh, it was so good.
That scene was originally 7 minutes long, originally, and then apparently the first viewing of it, they were like, okay, it's a bit too much for a lot of like all the deaths and that, and then they cut it down to
like
4 minutes.
Dies.
But they cut it down to 4 minutes you'll see the cutaway where some of the supporting actors are reacting to the fight scene. And apparently, so that served the purpose of cutting it down, the one-shotter, but then it also served another purpose of, because I mean, when you're watching it, you kind of like don't have time to like process what exactly just happened. It's just all happening very fast in front of you, but then also gives the viewer time to like kind of catch a breath, like the cutaways. So
this film didn't feel like work to watch. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You know how with some movies we do, you have to watch it because we're doing a review. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So then you push yourself through it. Whereas this one, I enjoyed it. It wasn't difficult to watch.
Yeah.
I got to the end of it and I was like, that was a
I was
good
actually
movie.
watching, because I mean, it's quite a long film. I was watching it and then I was like, I was looking at the time like, okay, it's bedtime now. And then I was like, okay, surely I should be about halfway or somewhere through. And I was like, oh, I'm only in the first like 20 minutes. I was like, okay, well,
hectic.
Tomorrow's another day. Let's go, people.
But
So,
it was good.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
It is quite fast.
It's very fast paced,
Yeah.
but the story keeps going. Like the story is solid. What I do think they did well with this was in Argyle, the fight scenes fell into the unrealistic, impossible category where it looks fake. Whereas with this one, they really did well on. They like stayed on that line.
They keep it on that line.
Yeah,
there
like it
between
wasn't
the two.
ever. And I think I do think that it's because guys were involved. I think the minute you bring a girl into a fight scene and she's the winning, like all the fight scenes, it's not realistic. Let's be honest, guys.
That's probably why they added the blades on.
No, that was just dumb.
On
I'm sorry, that was so dumb.
The only thing is, I was imagining to myself, how does she walk?
It didn't make any sense.
It's got this
Why did the
thing,
blades
but
stay
then
on the
she
shoe?
cuts, but then
The blades would not have stayed on the shoe.
Look, but here's the thing. It's on that line. So all you know is those blades are sharp. And when they come across your hand, it is.
Oh wait, are you talking about that? I was
Yes.
talking about Argyle, which is ice
Argyle.
skating. Sorry, go
No,
back there. The blades were that. Yes, it's unrealistic, but it's still like and she lost at the end of the day. So I suppose that's what helped her.
So yeah.
Yeah, but good film. Yeah. So we are looking forward to doing the second one.
The next one.
Next one is the Kingsman the Golden Circle.
Mhm.
Kingsman the Golden
I
Circle.
wonder what it's about.
I wonder.
Oh well.
We'll find out.
On the movie show.
Until then.
Cheers.
Peace.
The end.